The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, we will just wait 1 minute for everyone to join. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How to Conduct Better Board Evaluations. My name is Austin Whiteman, and I work in the Customer Success team in the London office. Your speaker today will be Marco Morcella, who is Vice President of Product Design based in our headquarters in New York. For all of you who currently use Diligent's questionnaire module, and perhaps those of you who haven't yet, this new product will allow you to run full analytics, including bar charts, pie graphs, and result tabulation. And you can do this retrospectively on any questionnaires you've already created. We're glad you could all join today's session, and we hope you'll find it useful. Just a few general notes before we start. This session will last approximately 25 to 30 minutes. You can ask questions at any time during the webinar via the question window in your GoToWebinar panel at the side of your screen. We will try to get through most of these questions in the last few minutes of the session, and any questions we can't get to, we'll follow up on individually. This session will be recorded, and everyone will receive a copy of the recording within the next few days. And now I'd like to hand the floor over to Marco.
Thanks, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I'm very excited to be here. As Austin mentioned, my name is Marco Morcella. I'm VP of Product Experience and Product Design. And I'm very excited to talk to everybody today about Diligent's latest offering, which is Diligent Evaluations. Just one note I do want to say is that, we have a wide variety of webinar participants. Some are clients, some are not. And again, this webinar is going to be more high-level discussions around how to conduct better board evaluations and a little bit about Diligent Evaluations and why we've built a tool. So there will not be a demo. There will be some screen grabs that will show you some of the value of our product, but we will not demo the product today. Again, just a quick tip around anyone who's having any issues seeing the screen. I am sharing my screen right now. If you're having any issues with the audio or the video or the screen capture, please chime in and let us know. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So a little bit about Diligent for some of you that are not aware. We've been in business for over 15 years. We are the leader in the corporate governance board portal space. We have over 140,000 users. This includes board members, executives, and administrators who are using our products. We have over 4,700 clients. Again, this extends to over 60 countries. We have 5 data centers that are global in the world, and we have 12 offices that are worldwide. Again, just some key facts about Diligent. We are a reputable brand. And we're excited today to talk about board evaluations. So around board evaluations, we're going to talk about some key discussion points. One of them are why are companies doing evaluations. We're going to talk about different types of evaluations that you may or may not be performing, the benefits that evaluations provide, some of the tools and challenges, and obviously how you can leverage Diligent for better evaluations. As Austin mentioned, if at any time you have any questions, please submit your questions, and at the end of the presentation, we're going to focus on those questions. So we will answer them at the end, so please be patient with us as we go through the presentation. So if we ask the question, why are companies doing evaluations, it really comes down to one key point, right? How effective is the board performing? Okay, one of the things is that companies need to respond to increasing pressures via regular and honest board performance evaluations. When we ask the question, who should be doing them, it should be every company with a board should be conducting evaluations as part of a health check. Okay, again, this is all based on board performance. This is something that has become best practice to incorporate evaluations as a standard part of any board's operating procedure. You have to think about today that in our fast-paced business environment, investors and other stakeholders are increasingly demanding their board members are performing to a higher standard in order to respond to the dynamic corporate landscape. This is true. Okay. The other reason why companies are doing evaluations is that it's required, right? There's a law and compliance reasons that publicly listed companies that are listed on the stock market need to submit evaluations, be it every second or third year. These are part of compliance measures that need to be met. Okay. And I think globally, when you look at evaluations, what they do is really perform best practices around how effective boards are performing. So when we look at what types of evaluations are performed, there are three key evaluations that are being designed and submitted, right? We have our board evaluations. Again, the board evaluations allows directors to rate the board as a whole. These are designed to help identify the areas where performance can be improved. As such, we have questions that should be framed around areas like compensation and leadership. For example, questions like how effective is the compensation and leadership of the board? Again, agenda or meeting efficiency, for example, you might want to ask questions like, does the board spend enough time addressing the right issues? Another type of evaluation that are usually designed and submitted are self-assessment. These allow directors to rate themselves, and these should be focused on assessing a director's responsibilities. Okay? Some of the questions you might ask in a self-assessment questionnaire would be, does the director regularly attend and participate in meetings? Does the director provide meaningful feedback? You might want to ask some questions around fiduciary duty. For example, does the director understand their legal obligations to the company and its shareholders? A third type of evaluation and assessment that's conducted are peer assessments. And really what this does, this allows directors the opportunity to provide feedback on their peers, usually done anonymously. Again, this is a great opportunity to ask about director expertise and value. For example, a question that might be asked is, does this director bring expert skills or unique experience to the board? Okay. Again, these are just three different types of evaluations. There are others as well, and every company usually runs evaluations based on their needs that they want met. So let's talk a little bit about what benefits evaluations provide. Okay, evaluations allow the board and its committees the opportunity to assess how the following impacts performance. These are just some key themes we've outlined here. For example, evaluations usually run to ask questions around group culture. Questions like, do your board members work well together? How effective are your board relationships? Are expressions of diverse views and respectful disagreements encouraged? Again, with board evaluations, these are things that get the directors talking and highlighting key areas and issues amongst the board. Another theme is around board cohesiveness. Questions like, how is the level or quality of participation? Okay, these questions are designed to determine whether the board culture is conducive to productivity. Is your board being productive, or are board members just attending meetings? Another key area and theme is composition. Question around this is, do the board and its committees have the appropriate composition to address the governance needs of the company? Okay, these questions are designed to determine how well the board gels and works together. Another key and important theme is leadership. Okay, one of the questions around leadership is, how effective are board members leading amongst the board? Is there enough diversity amongst the board? Okay, these questions are designed to determine how well the board and committees are leading the organization. Another key theme is meeting and information processes. Here we'd ask questions such as, do the board and its committees have the information needed to make informed decisions? Again, these questions are designed to determine whether the board is provided with the information needed to make informed decision in a timely manner. And lastly, another key theme that is usually popular among evaluations is governance policies. Okay, here we would ask questions such as, has the board created governance structures and practices that support its ability to govern effectively and objectively? Okay, these questions are designed to determine whether the board is practicing good corporate governance. Again, these are just some key themes that we're highlighting here. No evaluation is built the same across different organizations. There's themes and questions that need to be asked to conduct a board evaluation to see how effective the board is running. As I mentioned, the whole point of running evaluations is really to address key concerns. Okay? So now I want to focus on some of the tools and challenges within the evaluation space. We've talked to a lot of our clients that are building and distributing their own internal evaluations, and we really heard a couple of key challenges that they're faced with. Some clients responded back saying that, look, we run our internal evaluations and we do it via paper. They actually do it with Word, they print it out. The directors are not comfortable filling it out on any digital device, so they actually distribute paper. And this poses challenges because it's difficult to manage, it's difficult to analyze, and it's difficult to archive. We also heard some of the challenges around PDF and Word and Excel reports. Again, when you do internal evaluations, you might submit a PDF, you get submissions back, you export those submissions or rebuild them in an Excel report, and really what this is doing, it's very costly in terms of time because you're trying to manage and run analytics from a self-made Excel spreadsheet. We've also heard that a lot of clients are using online survey tools. The challenges there are that while you can build an evaluation questionnaire, they don't include the major features such as appendices, averages, signatures, full support, and custom reporting tools that you need to report back to the board. Okay. We've also heard a lot of feedback around that, there are external providers out there that are charging a lot of money. Now, obviously, with some of the compliance regulations, this is a 2- and 3-year cycle. So a lot of the price that you're paying for is a 3rd-year consultancy fee. And again, they're charging a lot of money, especially if you're running internal evaluations. This is not very cost effective. So again, these are some of the tools and challenges that we heard back from clients. And these can be very frustrating. So really what this allowed Diligent to do in listening to our client base and seeing the need for an additional tool within our board portal is how we built a tool that you can better leverage Diligent for building your own evaluations, right? And when you look at the 3 key areas we focused on, first for us it was the user experience. As I mentioned, we've been in this business over 15 years, and everything that we design and build is built with customers in mind, right? So our foremost thinking behind our evaluation tool was building an intuitive questionnaire through design, right? Some of the participants on the phone build and distribute book content via Diligent boards. It's very easy. We use that same principle to build our evaluations tool, okay? What we've allowed is admins to come in, build an evaluations tool based on their needs and question types for their board. We have a question library that has ratings, simple yes/no questions, scalable questions. So part of our tool was really thinking in mind of the type of evaluation tool our administrators will build. Okay. The other thing that we focused on is the end users, the directors who are going to be filling out the questionnaires. Right. We thought about what devices would they want to use. We don't want to limit it just to a web app. Right. We've actually built the questionnaire and evaluations tool within Diligent boards. So again, once they log in, they have access to their questionnaire from a multiple amount of platforms. Here's just an example of our iPad app. So if you're a director, you can receive your book content within boards. Again, same single login. When you log in, you can also access your evaluations that has been submitted. We also always leverage technology. We know technology changes and is constantly changing. And also with the feedback of our clients, really what we wanted to do is really think through how the whole workflow around building and distributing evaluation surveys is done. We have a really unique export wizard. So obviously once all submissions are received, administrators or any internal analysts can actually run reports based on any of the data points that they have received. Okay, so really what our system allows you to do is you can actually export PDF reports in a multitude of formats. They can be pie charts, bar charts, tabular format. We also have a complex Excel that you can export if you want to run any additional calculations. And the one feature we're really excited about is we have an averages report. So with any evaluations that you're running and you need key data points and metrics on averages across questions and directors, we actually have an averages report within our analytics engine. Okay, here's some samples of our reporting features. The nice thing about our tool, and we think through, is that you can actually export a beautifully graphical PDF that can be quickly uploaded into your next board meeting pack and be presented to the board with the data points that have been submitted. So again, the detailed reporting and the extent of reporting was on our minds as we designed our questionnaire module. And lastly, the other key point that we addressed is really thinking about seamless integration and archiving. One of the biggest frustrations with our existing clients, we've heard back from them that says, look, it's very challenging. Whenever we run evaluations, we have to send directors an external link. It's a separate username and password. It's usually emailed. They got to find that link in their email inbox. With Diligent, it's all integrated within our board solution. So again, with that same login, directors not only access current books, archived, contacts, calendar, now they'll be able to access all their evaluations, those that are active, and clients have the ability to say, allow archiving. So what this means is that in one location, directors can log in, and if clients allow it, we can archive all of the evaluations that have been submitted for the directors. So they can go to previous years and see previous submissions. So again, leveraging Diligent for better evaluations has some key benefits for both the administrators and the directors. As we mentioned, administrators, if you are currently using our system, it's simple, it's intuitive. The interface is very easy to use. There isn't a large learning curve in terms of building, previewing, and submitting evaluation surveys. Our reporting features are amazing, essentially, when you can run with a few clicks an export wizard that can tally up all of the submissions and data points. You can run a variety of exports. Again, we include a library of question types that help you build a robust evaluations. Again, we have multiple selections, ratings, table questions. We also have an appendices. If you do want to reference any terms or glossary, you can do so within our solution. And again, the key benefit is in one place where the admins or the internal analysts who build the surveys have the ability to monitor the end user's active engagement. So again, with paper or some other format, sometimes it's difficult to see that the director even opened the survey yet. With our system, you can do that. Okay, at every time when the director has received the questionnaire, when they've opened it, if they're halfway through, we actually have these statuses for the administrator to be able to engage the directors to complete and submit their questionnaires. On the director side, again, for us it's important to have the full range of compliance tasks through the familiar Diligent Boards interface. Again, there's no new software, no new learning curve. It's very simple. It's all part of the board solution. It's integrated very easily within the board portal. As I mentioned, single login. They come in, they access all their content, their surveys, and their evaluations. The other thing that's exciting about our solution is that directors can start filling out their evaluation survey on an iPad, and they can complete it on the PC or our web app. Okay, there's just not like a one link. You go to a web view and you got to complete it. All right, so again, that's some of the benefits of utilizing the board's platform. The other thing that is an added benefit with our solution is we have our white glove support. So again, if administrators have any issues, you pick up the phone, you call Diligent, and one of our subject matter experts on evaluations answers the phone and helps you complete, build, manage the questionnaire, as well as for the directors, if there's any issues, they call our support line and we help them manage any problems they might be facing. Lastly, obviously, security. Diligent takes security very seriously. The one benefit of our solution is that if you're using an external solution, it's very important to know where is your data sitting. Again, some questionnaires have high value information that you don't want out on some server farm that doesn't have the security or thought through the security that Diligent takes with all of their products. So Diligent, we are the industry leader within the board solution, and for us now, we're excited to launch Diligent Evaluations. As I mentioned, for us, all of the solutions we build, we work with our clients based on their feedback. We have a dedicated team who's devoted to building a tailored questionnaire solution. So this is our initial offering, but obviously we have a roadmap for 2017, so we're excited how the product will scale, and this is going to be based on customer feedback. As I mentioned, we take security very seriously, and obviously all your data, be it books or evaluation submissions, are within our hosted environments. Again, this is Diligence environments, that's behind our security and firewall. We have built an enhanced, robust questionnaires foundation. Last year, we launched a director and officer questionnaires, which some of our EMEA clients are also using. But in the U.S., for compliance regulation requirements, any publicly listed companies have to submit a director and officer questionnaire. So we have built a very robust questionnaire foundation that we've also built our evaluations tool on as well. And as I mentioned, and some of you have experienced, our white glove 24/7 365 service and support. I think when you take all of these key themes and put them together, you can see the value in offering with our Diligent Evaluations. So Austin, that's a very high-level overview and some of the points we wanted to cover in today's webinar. I know I've been seeing a lot of questions coming in, and we wanted to keep this webinar under 30 minutes. So what I'd like to do now is, why don't we focus on our participants and any questions they might have.
Thanks, Micah. Yes, a number of questions coming through. We've got a question here. We've been using the existing questionnaire module. Can we add the evaluations and analytics to that?
Yes, so that's a great question. So with our boards product, we have a base survey tool. So if you have built any evaluations or any types of surveys in the past, if you enable the analytics, it does retroactively work with any previous questionnaire. So the answer is yes.
Great. And another question here, is there a limit to how many questionnaires we can create?
No, there's no limit. With our evaluations tool, you can build as many surveys at any time. You can do them weekly, monthly, yearly. Also, there is no limit to the type of questions and themes that you want to present to your board.
Okay, and thank you for that. There's another question here asking about anonymous submissions. So the administrator needs to know who gave each answer and comments, but I present to directors on a confidential, no names basis. Does your reporting tool allow this?
It does. So that's a great question. So what you can do with our tool is there's two types of evaluations you can publish. One of them is anonymous, so we do allow that. The way we would work around saying, look, if the administrator needs to see the submissions of the director, you can actually do that when you would publish an evaluation survey that wouldn't be anonymous, but when the administrator receives that survey and the submissions, when they export it, they can go in and hide the directors' names. So essentially, we have some capability on the reporting side that they can remove the directors' names to then submit to the board an anonymous results.
Okay, great. There's another question here. What if our users don't use an iPad?
That's, again, good question. As I mentioned before, we have multiple ways that end users can receive their survey. The majority of boards, we've seen adoption of iPad. So, I just showed a sample of the iPad accessibility. We also have Windows 10 tablet. Again, so if they're using an application, they can use the Windows 10 tablet. We have a web app. We also have our PC version. So again, on any of these devices, the director can access their evaluation survey. The other thing I will say is that you can build an evaluation survey, and we know that a lot of the boards haven't converted yet. So we actually have robust printing capability as well. So for any of those directors who say, I don't want to use any digital means, just get me paper, for those directors, you can actually export via paper as well.
Excellent, thank you. Now there are a lot of questions on price. How much does it cost?
So good question. Our evaluations, Diligent Evaluations is a subscription tool that we're offering within Diligent. So it does come at a cost. Obviously, we want to talk to any of our clients or prospects that are interested in the tool. There's questions that we need to engage you with, like the size of the organization, how many users, etc. So if this is something you are interested, please contact your customer success manager or contact Diligent for a demo, and they'll talk to you about some of the details we need to price it effectively for your company.
Okay, thank you. One more question here. What do we do in the event of an external audit?
That's a great question, and obviously, there is every second and third year around compliance and regulation that you do need to perform an external audit. I do want to be clear that Diligent's tool offers all of the means to create, build, manage, and report. We do not have any internal auditing capabilities. So, you can use our tool if you're doing internal evaluations, and or if you do have an external auditor that you're using, you can continue to use them. Also, Diligent is working with preferred vendors as well that we can recommend to our clients who use the product to use on those years.
Excellent. And when will the evaluations module be available?
Great question. Monday.
Monday, excellent.
Monday, yeah, if that's not direct enough, but yes, we're excited. This is the first webinar we're conducting based on the availability of the tool. So our release is going out this weekend, available to our existing clients and any interested parties as of Monday.
Great. And a question here, did you say that you can capture signatures in the evaluations module?
Yes, great question. I don't know if anybody heard that, but again, part of our evaluations tool is not only do we have question types and exporting capabilities, we've built an appendices, so if there's any terms or glossary words that you need to define, you could do them there. We have great linking capability. We also allow the ability to have a signature. So again, we have a digital signature capture. Directors can sign once they submit, and again, it's based on clients. They can enable it or disable that. Okay.
Okay, and just one, I think this is a final question, yes. We have a third-party solution. Can we still use them for the consultancy part?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned before, we provide you with the tools and the means to build and distribute and manage your evaluations. With our reporting and our export capability, you can export and submit to any consulting agencies that you use for any external audits or for any consulting means. So absolutely.
Excellent. That's all the questions that have come through, Marco. So thank you very much for answering those. That's great. So in closing, for any of our existing clients who are interested in activating the evaluations module for this year's annual board surveys and questionnaires, please reach out to your CSM or respective diligent team and they'll be able to get that set up for you. It would be great if you could please submit your feedback on today's webinar through our survey that you will receive upon exiting the webinar. And should you have any additional questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact your customer success team, or you can just reply on the email that you will receive at the end of the webinar. Thank you again for joining today's webinar, and goodbye.
Thank you everyone for your time.